Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today we're doing a reading on how the world views you. We have 3 piles that are ready here for you to choose from. We also have the images from the cover, so you can take a look at those. So group number 1 or pile number 1 will correspond to the notification with the heart. Group number 2 and pile number 2 will correlate to the woman with the binoculars. And group number 3 and pile number 3 will resonate to the chat bubble or the thinking bubble. All right, so make your selection and then use the timestamps linked in the description box or pinned in the comments section below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings. If you do feel called to more than one or maybe even all of them, that's perfectly fine. Just use your intuition to take what messages resonate with you within the readings and leave the rest. Make your selection and we'll see you in your readings. All right, hi group number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at how the world views you. So we have your cards here. The first one is the Inner Queen, Goddess Persephone and Ruby. Okay, so I have the feeling just right away that people see you as a queen, whether you're male or female. They just see you as somebody who's in a position of power, but I'm also getting the message that you're not around all the time. It's like you're hard to access, or they have to kind of go through other means to be able to get a hold of you, and you did choose the notification image. So I feel like people, if they want to get a hold of you, they kind of have to send you a notification or a DM or an email or a text. It's not like you're physically around a lot. And it's kind of like a queen who is in the throne, chamber or something. And it's only through messengers that people can access her or him. And the same thing kind of goes here with Persephone. Like she's only around half the year, or she's only available at certain parts of the year, and then the other times she's in the underworld. So I feel like you may be hard to access, and so people really see you that way. We're going to leave your tarot for the end, and we're just going to look at the oracle cards first. You have prioritize, Archangel Metatron, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. I feel like people see you as being very organized and motivated. Again, this really correlates with the message I'm getting here about being in a position of power or leadership. It's like you really have a lot on your plate. And that's also, I think, why people view you as somebody who's kind of hard to access, or not necessarily hard to access. It's just like you're busy and you have a lot, you're very sought after, or you're in high demand. Like that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So you have to really prioritize what you're giving your attention to. You have breathe with Archangel Raphael. Take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. You may be a healer of some kind. Archangel Raphael is the healer archangel, and he helps you to, through the heart chakra, rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. And I'm getting the feeling that maybe this is something you do, or this is an essence that you have, and the world sees that within you. Maybe they see you as somebody who's very calm, very centered, very grounded, very practical, and you give a lot of value. I can see the eyes here. The eyes here are really standing out to me. You might have very significant or prominent eyes. You might have a very light eye color that is striking, or if it's a darker color, you just have eyes that really stand out, and people might mention that a lot to you, like, oh wow, you have beautiful eyes, or they just kind of stare into your eyes or get lost in your eyes. So I think the world definitely sees your eyes as a prominent feature. And it's like one of the first things that people notice is what Spirit is telling me. It's one of the first things that people notice about you the first time they meet you or they see you. They're showing me somebody on a video. So you might be somebody who's on social media or who posts on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something like that, where you're seen. People see videos of you, or people see images of you, which again makes sense with that image or that message I was getting before about being kind of hard to reach. It's like you're there, they can see you, but they can't always access you directly. They can't just like walk up to you and have a conversation, It's that kind of feeling I'm getting. You have unlikely, it's unlikely that people are going to be able to contact you when they want to. It's like they kind of have to go through the hoops to be able to communicate with you. Yeah. And you have stay focused, Kathumi. Yeah, look at that. Prioritize and stay focused. Like the world really sees you as somebody who's very focused, very driven, very on the ball. That's definitely the energy I'm getting from you, group number one, that you have your ish together, you know, like if you are somebody who works on social media, you're posting regularly, you are on the ball, you're coming out with like launches and products and things like that. If you're not that type of person and you work more behind the scenes, or you have some other kind of a job, I just see people, the world really in general, viewing you as someone who is very, Spirit just gave me the phrase, you have a good head on your shoulders. So people might have said that to you, or they just say that kind of not behind your back in a bad way, but like they say that about you, like, oh yeah, so-and-so has a really good head on their shoulders. They've got their priorities straight. You know what I mean? Like they're not wasting time on things that really don't matter in life. They've made a lot of progress, and that's why they're in this leadership position, or they're very sought after, is because they are on the ball. Yeah, really, that's what I see. The world really sees you as somebody who has, you've got your priorities straight, and whether or not you actually feel like you do, this is how the world sees you. So yeah, take it. You've got the ladybug. Oh, it's beautiful. I love the ladybug spirit. This is like good luck, prosperity, abundance, lightheartedness, joy, innocence, childlike wonder. And this red energy is really standing out to me here with the inner queen and the ladybug. So I feel like you're very compassionate. That's what it makes me feel like, because the red energy corresponds to the root chakra, and the root chakra in its divine gift is divine compassion. It's a very grounded, very practical, very hands-on type of compassion for the world and for your community. Breathe is about healing, and I was seeing that big heart chakra there within you. So I feel like, oh yeah, look at, there's green in this card too. So I get the sense that you're very compassionate, very empathetic, very open-hearted. And again, people can feel that, they can see that. People who are very aware and awakened will be able to identify that within your eyes, because eyes are the window to the soul. So people who are not aware and awakened, they're still drawn to your eyes, but they just don't understand why. Whereas people who understand the soul and who have eyes to see that, they will see your eyes and go, ah, yes, you have a good soul, that kind of thing. You have the alligator as well. And I feel like the alligator is somebody who stays on track. Like that's really what I'm getting the message here from the alligator. I don't even know what the guidebook says for these, but that's just the message I'm getting from alligators. Like you stay on track. Oh, that's so funny. Spirit is showing me in my mind millions of years of evolution, and the alligator has not needed to change because it's like perfect. The system that it has is perfect. You know, they're showing me it's thermal regulation. Do alligators even have that? But that's what they're showing me clairvoyantly, is like thermal regulation is on point. Their scales really protect them. Their fluidity and their energy retention and expenditure is very optimized. Their eyesight is ideal for the type of prey that they're looking for. So again, it's like the priorities of what your evolution or what your embodiment are just completely on point. And so you don't really need to change anything. I think the world sees you that way, as somebody who can just kind of like effortlessly move through the waters of life, very powerful, very strong, and yet at the same time, very innocent, pure, and like joyous and giving and loving. And look at this card, Stay Focused, is just like, I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye, this Kathumi's eyes. Again, the eyes, light green, light blue. You may have brown eyes too, but it's just like they're striking. I can't look away from them. It's like one of those paintings where the eyes are following you. It's like that's the energy I get here. So I feel like the world might see your eyes as almost like mesmerizing. Like you look into people's eyes, or they look into yours, and your eyes are just mesmerizing. They can't look away. They feel like you're seeing right through them. Like I'm getting Dumbledore vibes, you know, in the books, they always describe his eyes as being really striking, light blue. And when he looks at you, it's piercing. It's piercing. Like he can see right through you. He can see to the core of your being. He almost like strips you naked with his eyes and sees your vulnerability or your truth or your soul. Really, it's like you have such a purity within you that I really get the sense that people feel kind of exposed when you look at them. But it's actually a good thing, because you're seeing their truth and you're loving them in that. And I think that's beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards now. You have The Fool. This is perfect with the ladybug energy. It's like you are just very lighthearted, very just open to life is the sense that I get. You're grounded, you're practical, but at the same time, I think the reason that you are like that is because you've done things in the past that were a little bit foolhardy, and you've made some mistakes, and you learned from them and you applied them, and that's what allowed you to grow into this very wise, mature, grounded individual. And the world sees that. Now, some people actually, they're telling me a different message here. Some people see you as somebody who is a little bit on the fringes of society. And what I mean by that is like maybe you do things that other people don't, or because you are not constantly available, people kind of get this idea that maybe you're a bit eccentric or you're a hermit or something like that. You know, we don't have the hermit card here, at least I don't think we do. I don't know, we haven't looked at the rest of the cards, but you have the Fool, and it's just giving me this energy of you're a bit of an outlier, like you're a bit different, and the world, some of the world sees you like that. I think there's some people that see you as very, very grounded, very practical, and then there's other people who maybe think that they are very grounded and practical, and they see you as a little bit eccentric. So it's interesting that we have this kind of dichotomy of energy here between these two, and they're very dualistic, but for whatever reason, the world sees you in both of those lights, interestingly enough. You have Justice. The world sees you as somebody who's very fair. You are very fair, you're very just, you know how to prioritize things, you know how to focus on the truth. And again, it's like that piercing stare that you have that really gets to the core of somebody and sees the truth. I really get that sense from you. That's the first thing that the world sees when they see you for the first time, when they meet you, or when they're around you or in your presence. It's really your eyes that have power. You have the Queen of Swords. You know, it's really cool that you have the Queen of Swords and Justice, because both of these are really talking about kind of the same thing. It's like the energy of clarity, like is very clear cut, very direct, very truthful. It's all about integrity. It's all about, you know, getting to what is the core of the matter. You're not going to skirt around the issue. You're going to speak the truth. You might even be a little bit blunt. Some people might feel judged by you. I'm just going to say that. But I don't think that you are a judgmental person. I think you're very compassionate and empathetic. But if some people feel judged by you, it's because you've spoken the truth without preamble. And some people can feel like that's a little bit biting. You know, with the alligator there, it's like you might have a little bit of a bite to you, but really at the core of you, you're so gentle and innocent and kind. And so it's really just because it's like it's like almost like a child when they just kind of blurt things out and they're speaking the truth and they're right. But it's like there's social niceties that we have to obey, and we can't say that, and little white lies and stuff like that. And I feel like the world kind of sees you as someone who doesn't beat around the bush or sugarcoat it. You're just like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, take it or leave it. I like that. Let me make sure it's just all on camera here. Actually, let me put it up here so that it's not kind of blocking anything, or yeah, just trying to get all the cards in frame. There, that's a bit better. Okay, and then your last tarot card is the Four of Swords. Well, I love that you have Breathe and the Four of Swords. So people really see you as somebody who's calm, cool, and collected. You are somebody who is viewed as, I just got the word sustaining. What is that in regard to, Spirit? It's like you can sustain yourself, or maybe you prioritize your needs, or you sustain other people in some way. You're very focused. You may meditate, or people might think that you meditate when they first meet you, because you're very calm, you're very centered, you're very like connected at the heart, but you're also very clear. You identify the truth and you're able to speak that, and you're focused, like you're very focused. At least the world sees you that way, you know? It's very, I keep having an itchy nose in your reading, and I don't know what that's about. You might have like a particularly prominent nose that people see right away, like you have a cute nose or something like that, or people like your nose. Even if you don't, people like it. The nose, when people like touch their nose, like, oh, it's like a signal of like, yes, I know the secret or something like that. I feel like people see you as someone who, you're like a wisdom holder or a secret holder. You know something that other people don't know. And it's like unlikely that you would be able to know this, but somehow you do. And yeah, you might be like very, clairsentient or clairvoyant or claircognizant. Those are the main ones that are coming up that I'm seeing here in this reading. Maybe even clairaudient, but yeah, it could just be all of them. But I just get the sense that you're very open energetically, and I think that this gives you a lot of intuitive capacity to read people or to read situations. And maybe that's why you're not around or available all the time. It could be because you're busy, but it could be because you kind of need some downtime to recharge or to protect your energy or something like that. So you do rest. I see people acknowledging that you rest and take care of yourself a lot. So like if you're getting a whole bunch of messages and emails and DMs and all of those things, you're just the type of person who's going to prioritize your rest. Like if that is stressing you out, you're just going to go have a nap, or you're going to go for a walk, or you're going to meditate or something like that. And people, I think they see that on some level, whether they see it indirectly through your, like you're grounded in your peacefulness, or they see it directly because you're not answering, and you've probably most likely, being truthful as you are, told them straight up like, hey, sorry, I've had a lot on my plate, and I needed to rest, and before I got back to all of these messages. And so you're able to prioritize, and I think people respect that because it shows that you respect yourself, and that's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a hard-earned skill, is what Spirit just said. So I feel like you have been kind of through many different Fool cycles. Like the Fool is the beginning of a journey, and then you go through the major arcana to the world, and then you kind of come back to where you started, but you're wiser because you've been through like the trials and tribulations and pitfalls and lessons and stuff like that, and also achievements. And so I feel like you've been through many, many Fool cycles, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're physically old, okay? Like that doesn't mean that you're physically old. It just means that you're wise because you've had a lot of life experience, even if you're fairly young. But yeah, I get a lot of people, the world sees you as somebody who's very wise and who has information that not everybody has. And that's, I think, why you're sought after, or people want to reach out to you, or they want to consult you, or they want to, they want to have access to your energy in some way. And I feel like you have had to learn to be a little bit more protective of your energy and of who you're giving your time to and your focus to, because your focus is like a finite resource. And so you have to be very just and fair, making sure that you are staying focused on your goals and prioritizing your needs, while at the same time being able to focus on others when you have the energy, or when you have the time, or when you have the capacity in one way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's really what I'm seeing here. Let me see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to tell you about how the world sees you. Or why this is important. You know, the reason I wanted to do this reading was because I was out the other day, and I was just kind of like doing some errands and stuff like that. And I sometimes think about what it would be like to be another person, like what it would be like to see the world through the eyes of their experiences and things like that. And I've thought that since I was a kid. But that day I happened to be thinking, I wonder what that person or the world views me as, because I know who I am and I know what my truth is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's how people are going to see me. And so I was curious, and so I just figured, why don't we do a reading like this and kind of see what the world thinks of you? And so basically, group number 1, the world sees you as somebody who's very, very intellectual, very intelligent, good head on your shoulders. Maybe you're a little bit on the fringes of society because you do something that's maybe not that conventional, but you are in a leadership position. You're very calm, centered, joyous. You have piercing eyes and very, very fair. Now, Spirit is bringing through one last message that they want to get across to you. They're saying the way that the world sees you is not always an indication of who and what you are. Take only what confirms what you know to be true about yourself, and allow this to expand and elaborate on who you would like to be. For it is not always of most importance who you are or who others perceive you to be. What is of most import is always who you wish to become. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. So that is what I see for you, group number 1. I hope that this resonated and that you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys clicking on the reading and being here, sharing your energy in this space, being part of this community. And if you guys want to dive deeper, you can always join the membership on the channel and receive exclusive content, deals, and live readings from me as well. Okay, so that's available for you there. And I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's find out how the world views you. So you guys chose the lady with the binoculars. I'm really interested to see what your cards have to say. So you have Sacred Revolution, Goddess Kali, wow, and Black Obsidian. It's a strong start, and Kitty is for confirmation. I don't know if you can hear her meowing in the background. We're going to look at your tarot cards last, so I'm just going to set those to the side, and we'll look at your oracle cards. So you have Outdoors, Archangel Jophiel. Go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. Ooh, you have Clear Your Space as well. Another Archangel Jophiel. I'm not too familiar with her, but I'm getting the feeling that this is something to do with you being able to, like, you're here changing something in regard to an environment. It says get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. So yeah, right away, just with Sacred Revolution, Outdoors, and Clear Your Space, I'm getting the idea that people see you as somebody who's very concerned with what needs to change in the environment. Maybe you're an environmentalist and you focus a lot on recycling or composting or, cleanup or environmental care. Or maybe you're an advocate for the oceans or something like that. I don't know. It's like you probably have an air about you of somebody who cares about nature, who cares about the world, and you want to help to heal anything that has become, maybe you're the type of person who goes and picks up garbage outside, or somebody who, it just feels like you're here to start a sacred revolution, and the world sees that, like you're not being quiet about it. You're out there on the streets doing things, whether it's picking up garbage or planting trees or advocating for change or something like that. I feel like that's how people see you, whether or not that's how you see yourself, right? Like this is how the world sees you. The image that you chose of the lady with the binoculars, this make me, now that I kind of see these, I mean, we haven't gotten the rest of your cards yet, but with these cards in context to that image, I'm getting the idea of somebody who's like out bird watching or like looking at the clouds to see what the environment is doing, or like monitoring something. Yeah, I feel like you monitor things, or you have an eye on what's happening in nature or what's going on in the world around you. This could even be to do with like humanity. It doesn't necessarily have to be the natural world. It could be that you're concerned with what's going on with humanity and how people are being treated, and you want to revolutionize something in regard to living situations or physical health or something like that. You have Choose a New Direction. I feel like people watched you go through a change. Like you may not have always been this way, or people may not have always perceived you this way, and then all of a sudden you went through some kind of a big awakening or a perception shift in your life, and you chose a new direction. Like maybe you were doing some other kind of a job, like a more traditional job, and then all of a sudden you went into nonprofits, or you went into agriculture or eco-care or something like that. I don't know. It's interesting. And you have Listen, Manjushri. Yeah, I get the sense that the world sees you as somebody who's very observant, like you care about things. So you're watching, you're listening, you're looking at the space, you're looking at what's going on in the world around you. And the environment can be, like a foot out from your body or the entire world. It really just depends. And so it's really about kind of what you feel is most important. I think that's where your focus is going to be. And you've been moving towards that steadily. And the world is kind of acknowledging that. It's like they see you going in this direction, focusing on what you want and creating some kind of a change. Maybe even not like an aggressive change, but Callie can be destructive. And it's like she needs to break down the old to make way for a new system or structure and or a new creation. So I feel like maybe some people perceive you as like a little bit headstrong or a little bit aggressive in the way that you go about making changes. But if this is just like in your private life, I feel like people see you as someone who, if something needs to change, you're going to change it. Let's put it that way. Environment aside and things like that. It's just like if there's something that needs to change, you're going to change it. You're going to listen to that little intuitive nudge and you're going to clear the space. You're going to clear the energy. You're going to change the environment. You're going to choose a new direction. If something needs to happen, you're going to do it. You're going to revolutionize, even if it's like you have to change your entire life to refit this new calling or this new direction or this new impulse or feeling. And I think people really respect that. I think it intimidates some people because I did just get this feeling of like, oh my God, how did they do that? Or what are they doing? I think some people might question you. And the world is kind of like watching to see what you're doing. Like some people have binoculars out and trying to watch you like, oh, what's so-and-so doing? Some people might be judging you and some people are inspired by you and other people are intimidated by you. And then yet other people are kind of confused by you. So I feel like there's a wide variety of perspectives that I'm getting here in your reading. Which is quite interesting because in group number 1, there was at least 2 camps of people that were seeing group number 1 differently, but I feel like there's like 4 camps of people in your reading who view you differently depending on what you're doing, which is, that's pretty standard, right? Like everybody's going to see you through their own lens and their own experience and their subjective perspective. But I just get the sense that like you are a revolutionary in some way, shape, or form. I love it. You have the Scorpion. You might be Scorpio or have Scorpio prominently in your chart. Like, for example, I have Pluto in Scorpio in my 6th house. So I am always changing my environment or changing my space or like really transmuting or alchemizing things, because Scorpio and Scorpions can really be about transmutation. It's like taking something that is poisonous and turning it into something that is healing, or it's like using feng shui. Like if the energy in the space is really dysfunctional, then you're going to completely gut the place and reset it, restage it, reposition everything so that the energy is fluid and more healthy. So it's that kind of thing that I'm seeing here. Like there's a healing energy about you, but it's very sort of hands-on and outwardly focused, like environmentally focused. You have the monkey. That's funny. I would not expect that, but okay, let me just feel into this energy. Okay, the monkey makes me think of the rainforest and the Scorpion makes me think of the desert. So these are 2 very sort of opposite and extreme environments. And since, again, they're drawing my attention to the environment and we have these energies here in your reading, I feel like, again, there's something about your environment that really stands out. Maybe you live in an environment that is very unique, or you are drawn to travel to environments that you are going to help, or you're just there to be the energy. Like even if you're not doing anything to like physically change the environment, I feel like you being there energetically helps to shift things. So maybe you're a grid worker of some kind or a ley line worker. You might be an energy worker. But yeah, and that makes sense with listen too, because you listen to your intuition and then you go where you're called. But yeah, and choosing a new direction. Yeah, okay. I'm just kind of seeing how it's all fitting together now. But the monkey is giving me this indication that you are very concerned with your habitat, right? So whether that's where you live, your home, or your environment in terms of your community, or just the world at large, I feel like you're very concerned with that. And people see that about you. And I feel like some people view you as mischievous because you're a little bit, you come in and kind of shake things up. You know, people who don't want things to change, or they don't want to listen or to change directions, and they kind of want to stay in the status quo, but you see that that's not working, and you come in and say, like, we need to change things up. Like, let's say, for example, you get hired as a legal assistant and you start a new job at this law office, and you come in there and there's just files everywhere. Everything's out of order. Some of the cubicles are smashed together. Like, it's not like a habitable environment for work to happen. It's not productive. It's not a nice flow. And you come in and you're like, okay, this doesn't work. And you ask your boss, hey, can I switch some things around just so that I can get a better lay of the land and have a better workflow? And they're like, yeah, sure. So you just freaking overhaul the entire thing. Like, you're pulling out all the files and you're reorganizing everything and you're moving desks around. And I think some of the people who have worked there are like, what are you doing? Or I liked it that way. It's like a teenager who has all their stuff on the floor and the mom comes in and tries to clean it up, and the teen's like, well, now I can't find anything. And it's like, well, you couldn't find anything before because you had crap everywhere. But it's like, some people like their mess, you know what I mean? And I feel like you are the type of person who comes in to revolutionize things in a very positive way. But some people don't like that, or they feel like it's mischievous, or they feel like you're disrupting things. Like, you might have a perception in the world that you're a bit disruptive, but I think that that's why people are so interested in you. Like, they're always kind of looking to see what you're doing, because you're bold and you just take charge of a situation. If there's something that needs to happen, you're gonna do it. Love that. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards. You have the Seven of Wands. Very bold. Yeah, exactly. It's very bold, and you're the type of person who it will, like, you're going to stand up for what you believe in. You're going to create change where you feel change is necessary. And again, I feel like this may cause people to kind of come at you. It's like all these people viewing you in different ways. Oh, I love what you're doing, or oh my God, you changed this and I don't like it, or you should just sit down and shut up, or oh wow, you're so inspiring. How did you get to do that? I want to do it too. So there's a whole array, a whole peanut gallery of people who are passing judgment, or who are observing you, or who are fawning at your feet. It's just a whole bunch of different things. But I get the sense that you're up there with your wand and you're just like, you know what, let me just do my thing, because it's more important that I focus on what needs to happen here. I'm not so concerned with what other people think of me. I'm going to listen. I'll listen if it's relevant, but I'm not going to allow that to change my direction. The only one who changes your direction is you. Yes. You have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you're very concerned with health and well-being. You may be concerned with like housing. I feel like people see you as someone who cares about the less fortunate. Maybe you are somebody who gives to charity, or somebody who works in like I was saying before, like nonprofits or social benefit systems or social works. I don't know. I just get this feeling that you care about people who have less than you, and you try to make a difference in some way. And people see, like, whether or not you're actually doing that, for whatever reason, people see you as that type of person. Maybe it's just like a vibe you give off, okay. This just came into my head, so don't shoot the messenger, but it's like, maybe you come off a bit like crunchy granola, you know what I mean? Like a little bit like grassroots type of person, like Woodstock, hippie, like, we got to revolutionize the world. We got to stop the wars. I love that energy. I'm not here hating on that. I love that. I'm all about that. But I feel like some people might see you that way, as somebody who's very, very like grounded and down to earth, but in like a very sort of progressive way, if we want to look at it that way. You have the Death card, and with Scorpion here, yeah, you guys are, you're alchemizers, you're transmuters, and Kitty just started meowing in the background. So this is a big energy that's part of you that people see, that you alchemize things, you let things die, and you rebirth yourself and your environment very regularly. You overhaul things is what I just heard. Yeah, you overhaul things. You're not afraid to let situations or things die for new things to be reborn. But that's exactly what Kali does. She's the destroyer and the creator. She like breaks things down to be able to birth new things, like I was saying before. Oh my God, you have the devil. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing there with the monkey. Is that you come off a bit mischievous, and I think some people are intimidated by that, and you may feel like you kind of have to be on guard all the time and protect your energy or protect your space, because other people are like kind of viewing you as somebody who's a disturber of the peace, is what I just heard in my head. So some people see you as a disturber of the peace. This is so interesting. But it's like, it's your habitat, you know, and it's like what they're showing me is a monkey in Thailand who jumps onto the table and steals your food. And the tourists are like, what are you doing? Like, what? And I feel like some tourists are like, ha ha ha, oh my God, that's so cute. And some tourists are like, upset because maybe the monkey steals their camera or their phone or their wallet or something like that. And the locals are just like fed up because they deal with this all the time. But it's kind of like, you know what? You've encroached into their environment, into their territory. The monkeys were there first, you know what I mean? And we came in and we built civilization in nature. And we've driven out a lot of that natural habitat. So I feel like if people come and encroach in your territory, you're like, no, I'm not having that. I'm gonna stand my ground, and I'm gonna advocate for my space, or I'm gonna adapt, and I'm going to create in whatever environment I have available to me, and I'm gonna optimize my life in that space. You know, it's like the monkeys adapting and using the environment to their benefit. They're like, well, if where there used to be this fruit tree, now there's people selling fruit, well, I'm just going to take the fruit because I was going to take it from the tree, but now there's a fruit stand, so I'll just take that instead. And it's like this sort of warped social justice, but I think it makes sense, right? Like if we're looking at it from that higher truth. But yeah, I feel like some people are kind of irked by this, or they don't understand it, or they're a little bit intimidated by it. I think some people may see you as somebody who doesn't have a lot too. Like maybe you've struggled with your finances or health issues, or finding a place to call your own. Like you are a little bit more transient in nature. I'm just getting like real sort of like real sort of like hippie vibes, grassroots, just moving around wherever you're being called. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I feel like people see you that way in some way, shape, or form. I feel like people see you as someone who's very intense. You're very intense, and I think some people love that and some people do not. And that's fine. But I really get this feeling that you're very intense. Like these Scorpio vibes are very strong, and Kali, very strong, death card, the devil, the monkey. Like you're very intense, and people can feel a little bit put off by that. But ultimately, I think that the intensity of who you are or how people view you is actually a good thing, because you are making waves, you're making changes, you're standing up for what you feel is right for you or what you need. I do feel like you're a transmuter as well. So if you did struggle with health issues, you've been able to kind of get yourself out of that and alchemize it into healing. If you struggled with financial loss or debt or challenges, I feel like you were able to kind of reground yourself in a new direction and alchemize that into something more, creating stability for yourself in one way, shape, or form, whether it was through money or through some other kind of a lifestyle where you didn't have to rely so much on money. Yeah, I feel like some people might see you as a hobo. Okay, again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting what I'm seeing here and getting from spirit. I feel like the world might see you as a bit of somebody who, like a gypsy almost. Yeah, like a gypsy or a hobo, or somebody who just doesn't really settle anywhere. You're kind of always moving around. Or maybe you're just somebody who likes to be outside a lot. You're always out in nature, and people see that. And so they kind of think, where do they even live? Because you're just always out and about. Whatever it happens to be, the world is very interested in you. You are fascinating to a lot of people, even though they have so many different opinions about you and they might have very skewed perspectives of who you are. I feel like whatever way, shape, or form they see you, you're interesting. People want to observe you. They want to look at you. They want to listen to you. They want to know what you're doing because you have this very radical energy about you and you are very strong. You're strong. That's the energy I want to say. You're very powerful and you challenge where there has been disempowerment. So maybe you're an advocate for people who are hobos or homeless or unstable or who have health issues, right? Like maybe this isn't you. Maybe this is people that you advocate for. And you're very outspoken about it. I just keep getting the word radical. So you're radical in some way, or the world views you as someone who is radical, even if you think that you're not. It's very interesting. Sometimes it's sometimes it's a bit of a shock to kind of see how the world views us, because sometimes it fits and sometimes it's not at all what we would expect. But yeah, people see you as a radical, very intense, very powerful, very outspoken, a revolutionary. Somebody who rebirths themselves and who advocates for the rebirth of other people or the world. Really cool. Really, really cool. Very strong. You have firm boundaries. I can see that very clearly. And you set them with other people because that's how people view you, as somebody who sets boundaries and who, it's like you go after what you want and you do what you feel like it needs to be done. Let me see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to say. Oh, Spirit said, not that they are outspoken, but that they are a harbinger of change. Necessary change. Ah. So you may not even be outspoken about this. It's just that you bring change. Like everywhere you go, something changes in your wake, or you are involved in the change in some way, and people notice this about you. And it's kind of like you are the change. You know what I mean? It's just who you are, and it's not something you even do necessarily intentionally. It's just, yeah, wow. Okay. That's cool. I don't even know what to make of that. Yeah. Spirit said they are change agents. So group number 2, you are change agents. You are here to create change. And I think that's why some people can feel a little bit put out by that, or a little bit intimidated by that, or even scared of it, because when you step in the room, something's going to change, whether they like it or not. And for the people who understand that this change needs to happen, they clap for you. And for those who are scared of change or who resist it and they want to stay stuck in their old disempowering ways, they don't like it. But it's ultimately for the best, because whatever change that you bring to a situation, it's divinely guided. It's like you are there to make that change happen just through your presence. And it could just be through circumstance, right? It doesn't, again, it's like, it's not even like you're trying to do it. It's like just the circumstances of you being there and interacting with this environment or these people makes change happen. Spirit says you're divinely protected. Yeah, they protect you because you are a change agent, and some of this work is a little bit dirty, is what they're saying. And so the world can sometimes be a little bit harsh with you or view you unfairly, is what Spirit just said, because you are a change agent. And so Spirit wants you to know that you're protected. That's Black Obsidian energy. Yeah, protection, transmutation. Taking any negativity that is directed your way and transmuting it into healing, into power, into growth, into a revolution. You know, you're able to alchemize things. And I was seeing that there with Kali, with Scorpio, with death. All of it, really. You're able to alchemize in a really powerful way. So make sure that you are clearing your energy regularly, because I do feel like you naturally just absorb energy of your environment. And I feel like maybe that's why you are seen as somebody who's outdoors a lot, because the outdoors helps to clear your energy. It's like if you're out going for a hike or a walk or just being in the sun, it helps to offset some of that negative energy that might be absorbed through your environment, through your interactions, or from the world at large, because you're a change agent. You're meant to be a transmuter. You're like a walking sponge that transmutes energy. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing the bigger picture here. Spirit wants you to know that there are resources that you can use or that you can lean back on or rely on to help you to do this with less inefficiency, is what they just said. Some of these are, they said kindness. Kindness is one of them. So approaching any situation with kindness and an open heart is going to help to transmute things. It's kind of like it settles things down. You know, if you come at it with this aggressive energy, it can kind of rile up some things, but ultimately to transmute, it's the kindness that's going to help. And that's kindness to yourself too, guys, not just to other people. Yeah, they're saying to use nature. So water, fire, earth, and air, using the elements. So this could be using crystals and rocks. I don't know why, for whatever reason, they're telling me rocks. Yeah, like using the earth to restabilize or reground or to transmute it, to offset some of this energy, like put it out of your system so that you're not getting poisoned by some of this environmental or energetic negative stuff. They're also saying, yeah, connecting to the trees, that helps to transmute your energy too. Water, so it could be just having a shower or a bath, but they're showing me somebody actually going into like a creek or a stream or a river. It's like immersing yourself in nature's water. It helps to offset the energy. They're showing me ions. Yeah, okay. So grounding is really important for you, group number 2. And you need to offset some of the ions that you're absorbing. So we actually need more negative ions and less positive ions. And we get positive ions from being inside, being around electricity, being in contact with, they're telling me plastics, certain types of metals, electricity, electronics, phones, computers, things like that. That gives us positive ions, which are not good for us. And we need more negative ions, which are activated when we're out in nature, when we're breathing fresh air, when we have our feet on the ground, when we're in a stream or sitting by a tree. That's what they're saying. So again, outdoors is really important here for you, because it's going to help you to heal and offset some of this negative energy that you naturally absorb. And the world can see that you are a transmuter, but whether they consciously acknowledge this or not, you're absorbing that energy. So it is important that you take care of yourself and transmute that as much as possible. Yeah, there's other things you can do, like there's certain types of sacred geometry that you can use. There's like energy clearing pyramids, there's energy charging plates, there's also biogeometry. This ring is actually biogeometry. It was given to me by a client so kindly. They also sent me the necklace as well. And there's a cube that comes with it too. So biogeometry, looking into that could be helpful, because it'll help to clear your space. Just using different kinds of, different resources that can help you to ground and clear your energies is really what Spirit is recommending here, because that's going to help you to stay healthy and in alignment as you are this natural change agent in the world, okay? And take care of your health, because if you have struggled with health issues, it's because you're a transmuter and you need to be on top of your energy recycling, basically, within yourself. Like, you need to clear your energy way more regularly than someone else would, because you are absorbing everything lower and denser and more toxic. So you're like the recycling plant, and you need to keep that facility clean, okay? I mean, yeah, you're so powerful though. Like, you are here making change, making waves, doing good for this world. So thank you for that. Just take care of yourself, okay? All right, that is what I see for you, group number 2. Spirit is protecting you. They called you to this reading so you could have this information about taking care of yourself. That was more so the purpose. Actually, it was less about how the world sees you. They really just wanted to give you that message. And they kind of lured you in with like what does the world think of me? That kind of thing. But they just really wanted you to take care of your energy, okay? So please do so. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for contributing your energy to the reading, for being here in this moment and this community. And if you want to go deeper in the community, community. I do have memberships available on my channel, and they give you access to the members only videos as well as live streams, discounts, and other fun goodies. So you can join if that resonates with you. Thank you so much, guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading about how the world views you. We have your cards here. We're going to look at those. I'm interested to see how the chat bubble, or the thinking bubble, I should say, the thinking bubble relates to your cards. So you have Sacred Ecosystem, Ascended Master Kuthumi, and Moss Agate. This is really interesting because Sacred Ecosystem, or the energy of ecosystem and environment, came up heavily in group number 2, and Kuthumi, the actual Ascended Master Kuthumi, came up on a completely different oracle card in group number 1. So, you may be called to all 3 of the groups. I don't know, or you may have watched all 3 of the groups and you're just coming to this one now. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So we're going to save your tarot cards for last. Let's take a look at your oracle cards. You have Beloved One, Archangel Shamuel. I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Very nice. And you have Angel Therapy, Archangel Raphael. Give your cares and worries to us, angels, and allow us to take your burdens. You have Ask Your Angels. Well, you've got a lot here to do with helping and angels and support. I wonder if this is part of the ecosystem that you're involved in, like an angelic type of realm, where you consult the angels, or you're connected to that angelic energy and the world kind of sees you that way. Open your heart to love, Jesus. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing here, is that the world kind of sees you as some kind of like a sacred being. You're sacred. You're some kind, like they see you as an earth angel, or they see you as like a Christed one, or you might be very connected to nature. You have a great bond with animals, with your ecosystem. It's like you are one with nature in such a beautiful way. I feel like the world sees you and thinks about you as a helper. That's really what I'm getting here, is that because I'm seeing the word I am helping, and then it's taking burdens. Jesus was a helper and a giver and a healer and a guide, and then you have Ask Your Angels, so they're guides as well. I get the sense that you are somebody who helps people. You remove their burdens. You're a healer of some kind. You're a giver. You feed people, whether it's information that they need, or healing energy, or maybe it's food. I just feel like you give in a way that helps to balance things out. You have Elephant. Well, Elephant is all about the tribe. Elephant is all about the community. Family is very important to the elephant. It's like the mother archetype. It's very concerned with caring. And you have Dragonfly. This is a sacred messenger. Yeah, you are a sacred messenger, and the world sees you as that, and they think about you a lot. I feel like you're in a lot of people's thoughts, or you pray for people. The thought bubble. It's like you pray for people. You're thinking about and remembering people and their needs all the time. You're prioritizing their needs. You're asking the angels for help on their behalf to lighten their burdens and to heal their hearts and to save their souls, or whatever it happens to be. I just get the sense that you are a beautiful earth angel, and the world sees that very clearly. Now, the dragonfly to me feels like radiance. That's the energy I'm getting from it. And you know, when a dragonfly comes around and they land on you, and you're just like, oh, I feel so blessed. This dragonfly just landed on me out of nowhere. It trusts me, or it's attracted to my energy, or something like that. And then you look at it, and they've got like this iridescent beautiful sheen to them where it's like green, but it's also blue and purple, and it's got gold in there, and it's so radiant. And how could that possibly be just something that occurs in nature? It's just magic. That's what I feel people see of you. Like they look at you and they wonder, how are you so magical? How did you get to be this way? And they just feel so blessed anytime that you happen to grace them with your presence. Like honestly, like truly blessed to be graced with your presence. And it does feel very sacred. I'm feeling like elephants being revered in certain countries for their sacredness, their wisdom, and their knowledge. I feel like that's something that people view you as well. Like they see you as somebody who's very wise, very knowledgeable, very connected to the divine. So you may be somebody who's very very spiritual, or very religious, or very like just very connected to spirit in some way, or to God. And people see that and they feel that, and they really, I keep getting the word revere. So they revere you. I feel like people, they want to follow you. Like you've got Jesus vibes, okay? I mean, that's what you're giving off anyway. You're giving off Jesus vibes. Like people want to be your followers. They want to follow in your footsteps. They want to be your disciples. They want to hear your wisdom. They want you to bless them with your love, or with your energy, or with your prayers, or with your wisdom. I don't know. It's just, I get this feeling. People are like, oh, group number 3 is going to be there, and they have such healing energy, and every time I come in contact with them, something good happens to me right afterward. Or it's like you're like a walking blessing. Really, like that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, you're like a walking blessing, and that's how the world sees you. I love it. Let's look at your tarot cards. You have the Ace of Swords. This is the wisdom. Yeah, you're like a truth holder, and you speak that wisdom. I'm also hearing elephants never forget. So I just get this feeling like you have a wonderful memory, and you're a very deep thinker. Very deep thinker. And again, this is where all the wisdom comes through. I think you're probably connected to spirit as well. Like you're a channel for God. You're a channel for spirit for sure. Whether you do that consciously or not. And people see you as that. That's why they're like, oh, they're so wise. They always have this like nugget of insight that really changes my way of seeing the world and improves it. Or they just give me this perspective that I really needed on the situation, and it helps me to open my heart. It helps me to heal. It helps me to remove the burden that I was carrying around. You just are naturally healing, and you do it a lot through your communications, or through this could even just be through your thoughts, even if you're not speaking any words. It's like you. Again, I keep getting this message that you pray for people regularly. And for whatever reason, the world is aware of that. I don't know how, but maybe you say it. Maybe you say like, I'm going to pray for you, or I've been praying for you, or something. Maybe you're very open about it. I don't know. But for whatever the reason, the world sees you as someone who is very, very clear in their mind. And you're connected to the divine. Yeah. You have the Two of Swords as well. Very impartial. You're not judgmental at all. The world sees you as somebody who you're very just open to spirit, and you're like, okay, I'm going to ask the angels, like, let me think about that. I'm going to ask, I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to connect to spirit and see what they say. I feel like, you have a very sacred, very balanced divine energy about you that people really, really notice. 10 of Wands, especially it was going to go here whether or not it was the 10 of Wands, but it was falling right on top of this angel therapy, which was talking about taking away the burdens. And the 10 of Wands reversed is the removal of burdens. What? Like, holy cow. So I feel like you are a heavy lifter who helps to remove the burdens from other people through your prayer, through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your open heart, through your grace. That's the energy. Yeah, grace, that's the word. You hold grace, group number 3. And grace is of God. Grace comes directly from source, and it allows the burdens and any of the denser energies to be just kind of washed away or removed. So I'm seeing that here is that it's through your open heart that this grace comes through, and it's through the crown chakra as well. You have a very open crown chakra. It's dominant even, like you might be a divine wisdom soul. That's a soul blueprint type. I used to do soul realignment readings through Akashic Records and through the Akashic Records, I should say. And one of the soul types is divine wisdom, and it is a very dominant crown chakra. I see the heart here as well, but the crown is really standing out to me. So I feel like, yeah, you are a wise individual. You have a lot of spiritual wisdom that you channel through you. You're very claircognizant, whether you are conscious of that or not. And you help to remove the burdens off of people by giving them a very clear, succinct pathway to clarity on their own, or you help them to open their hearts, or you help them to see the divine or to experience that grace that you hold. And you have the 6 of Pentacles reversed. The world sees you as someone who's always giving, and actually the world sees you as somebody who needs to give to themselves more. You're so selfless that you might kind of find yourself in positions where you've given too much. Yeah, it's that Jesus energy, right? Like he gave a lot, he gave a lot. And he's actually like archetypally the martyr. We all know the end story of Jesus. So I feel like maybe you martyr yourself a little bit here, or the world sees you that way. Because you are such a sacred divine being and you're here to grace the world with blessings and love and wisdom. I think that sometimes there's a lack of boundaries around when or how much to give. And so the world is kind of seeing that maybe you've put yourself into a position where you've given too much and you need to learn to kind of pull back a little bit. Maybe it's within your close relationships that you're having a hard time with how much to give and you're not receiving enough. Because I get the feeling that you're very concerned with your family, you're very concerned with your tribe, your community, and just in general people. Like I feel like you're one of these people who's like, humanity is my family. And I'm here to love everyone as if they were my brothers and sisters. And that is a beautiful thing. And it's important to have boundaries, it's through those boundaries that we can love unconditionally. It's a paradox, right? It seems counterintuitive to set boundaries to be more unconditional, but that's actually how it works. So I feel like maybe working on some boundary setting would be helpful here in really serving the world in the way that you're intending to. Now, again, this is the way that other people view you. So you might actually have very good boundaries, but I'm seeing it in this distorted way because other people see you as somebody who gives a lot. And maybe if they don't give a lot, then they see that as too much. But I think it's going to depend on how you feel, right? If you are giving a lot, but you have a lot to give and that's fine, then there's no problem. But if you're giving a lot and you don't have a lot to give, or you're giving too much, or you're over giving, that could be, somewhere to look at the balance there. So yeah, group number 3, I just feel like the world sees you as somebody who is very loving, very caring, very wise, and you help people a lot. That's really what I see. You're just very charitable, you're very giving, you are a helper by nature. You just want people to have what they need, to feel safe, to be safe, and I think that that is why you are the way that you are, and the world sees that. The world acknowledges that. The world views you as that type of person. Maybe you're not that type of person or you don't see yourself that way, but this is how the world views you. So, sometimes we kind of have to take external perspectives into account, and sometimes we don't. Like sometimes the world will not see us clearly, and we know our truth, and we have to kind of double down on that truth. And sometimes the world will see us more clearly than we see ourselves, and we have to acknowledge and accept that and integrate that into our identity or our sense of self. So it's going to vary from person to person. But I feel like if you think that you're not doing enough, group number 3, this reading is here to tell you that the world sees that you are, and you are doing more than enough. And I can feel energetically that you're doing more than enough. So like, it's okay to just chill out sometimes and not constantly be on in regard to, you know, like they're showing me the genie, like, poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? You know, like you don't always have to be granting other people's wishes. You don't always have to be blessing everyone. You don't always have to be removing their burdens. I think it's important you focus on you as well. That's what creates this very sacred ecosystem that just naturally blesses people. Like you can just walk into a room and bless people. You don't have to do anything. But if you're bending over backwards or even enabling people to a certain extent, you want to look at those things and identify where that is coming from, or where, you know, the core need is underneath that, because it may be about worthiness or deservingness. But I just get this sense that the world really reveres you, because again, they just keep giving me that word. The world reveres you for your grace, for your presence, and for your love. So I don't even think that there's anything else to say here. This is a bit of a shorter reading than the other two, but I think we've really kind of covered it all. It's here very plain as day. You guys are sacred beings. You are earth angels. You are beautiful, beautiful souls who are givers, helpers, and healers. And the world acknowledges that and reveres you for it. So make sure that you are valuing yourself as equally as the world sees you, or more so, if anything, more so, please. And value yourself as you are extremely valuable. Okay? That's what I see for you, group number 3. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the reading and it served you in some way. And if you want to go deeper, I do have memberships available on the channel as well, which will give you access to members-only readings, live readings where we do personal card pulls for you guys and answer your questions, as well as discounts and other fun goodies. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.